Hi, I just thought I'd pop on really quickly and just talk about Calendly. This is the first of a few videos I'm going to put on the site called Tech Talk. Not TED Talk, Tech Talk, Tech Talk 1. Just want to talk about Calendly because I know there's been some discussions around automation. And if you're an assessor or a tutor and you want to be able to automate bookings, Calendly is a really good solution. Now, I can show you a little bit of Calendly, but I can't show you the lists because of client details. So I'm just going to open Calendly up and share with you here. So I'm just going to share my screen with you. So there are a free account. I pay about £100 a year for mine. It's quite a basic one. And you can see here, and some of you will have actually used this in the past to book with me. You can see here that all of my different meetings that I have are listed, and I have different links for each of them. But in terms of, for those of you that are assessors, I have my one for dyslexia assessments, and you can see here it says view booking page. So this is what my client would see. So when I click on there, the client would see this here, and it tells you if there's no dates. There's no dates in February. There's one date on a Sunday left in March, and then I'm away, and there's dates in April. So that's what the client would see. And on my version, it's a paid version. So I can take the deposit. If you've got the free version, you can't actually take the deposit. So they would click on that. There's various questions that they have to answer, including clicking to say they've read the terms and conditions as well, which is linked to my website. So it's quite straightforward, really. We'll just come back to here. Hopefully the page has just changed. It's not showing me what I'm actually seeing normally it does anyway. Hopefully it's changed. On here, the really useful thing is workflows. So a workflow is something that you set up. Now I'm going to scroll down to the workflow for the assessment, because this is where we automate sending out the paperwork now. I'm just looking. Email booking confirmation. Email booking confirmation. Right, this is it. Email booking confirmation to invitee. So here, this is what I see, but I can show you what they would see. So they get an email booking confirmation 24 hours after they've made the booking. And if I click here, this is the email that's been written. It says edit. And you can see here, this is the letter that they get. So it says, dear invitee first name. So it's automated, it pre-populated with their name, their date, their time that they've booked. Because I have different prices for my assessments, I can't give them the breakdown of the different payments, but they are all listed here. And when they booked, they will have ticked which one they require. My terms and conditions are here. My bank details are here. My data protection. They can download the, sorry, not download. Here is the link. We use Google Forms. So here's the link for them to click and fill in their Google Forms, the information on vision testing, and then the cancellation policy. They have to tick to say they've read the cancellation policy. Just an aside here, when you take a deposit, if your assessment hasn't been conducted within 14 days, so say for me, this is an April assessment, and they've paid the £80 deposit, and a week later they come back and cancel. By law, I have to give them that deposit back. If I'd started the assessment, I wouldn't. And if it was more than 14 days, I wouldn't have to, but it is. And that does say that in my terms and conditions. And also they can get reminders from the workflows. You can set up with a paid account. You can set up various reminders. I hope this is just going back to there. No, it's not. Of the workflows. And you can see here, they get thank you emails as well. And that, for those of you that have had a tuition discovery call, you will get that and you can have yeah, lots of different things. You can do text reminders as well. So in that sense, it's all very automated. Um, and then here, I'm not going to click on it, but you see scheduled events. Here, you see a list of all your events that are scheduled. I'm not going to click on that because that will show you all my clients' names. In terms of setting up your availability, you would go on to Calendly, and I think I can probably show you roughly how you would do that. I actually have a VA who does set this up for me. So here, if I wanted to add more mentoring, sorry, I would go to the settings here and I would edit, I think. And then you can see your calendar. And then on your calendar, you can add further dates. And I use Google Calendar. So what happens is that with Google Calendar, everything that's booked on Calendly goes straight on to my Google Calendar. Now, just a word of warning here. If you've opened up, say, I don't know, 7, I'm just going to go back to the main thing, back to here. Say you've opened up your dyslexia assessments for 2 months and you've opened up 3 slots a week, but actually you don't have the capacity to do 3 slots, but you're just giving people a variety. So instead of going back and forward and saying to somebody, I've got Monday, Wednesday and Saturday, you've opened those slots up. As soon as, say you can only do 2 assessments a week, as soon as you've booked that one assessment, you can either remove it from the calendar, which is a bit hassly, or you can just block out the time on your Google Calendar or Microsoft Calendar, whatever you're using. So I would book out admin. Sometimes I get my VA to set my availability for a whole term, but I'm not sure when I'm going to go away. So I think to myself, well, I might be away week commencing the 1st of March. So I just put out of office and they won't be able to book that at that time. But then that actually a week that did occur for me this time. Then I decided I wasn't going to be the away week of 1st of March. So I just took off of my Google Calendar where I'd put admin or out of office either all day, and those slots miraculously appeared back on the calendar. So if you're just doing assessments, you've just got 2 days a week that you're available, it's probably straightforward. But if you're offering a lot more availability than what you have the capacity, then that's an easier way to do it than removing it from the calendar, I find. So that's the basics. There's a lot more you can do, but this is just a basic overview of Calendly and how it can automate sending out the confirmation, getting them to sign your terms and conditions, and sending out your questionnaires as well. There's also a reschedule button. So if you can choose whether to have that. So on my mentoring, for example, the reschedule button is open and a client can go on and reschedule their date. But on my assessments, I don't allow the reschedule button to be there because I don't want people rescheduling. I want them, especially if I'm going to lose my deposit, I want them to come to me and then I will reschedule if there is the availability. So there's quite a lot of flexibility. And as I say, this really is just the basics. If you're a tutor, you could use it to book initial meetings with parents. I do believe that you can book groups of people in as well. I've never used it for that, but some people do their group bookings on Calendly as well. And with a little tool called Zapier, there's a lot more you can do. You can zap to various other functions. I don't use that because I find it easier to use my VA for these things. But if you're really going to get into automation, then do have a look at Zapier as well. I hope that helps. I'm just going to stop screen sharing now. And thank you very much. I don't think it got recorded. I didn't record it anyway. I did.